Yeah, man. Ideas, it's ideas, man. Ideas.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. Understand clearly, yeah, that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mine. Is it me considered? It's you that's with it. See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee, and it's so clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free, yeah. I'm just trying to be the best I can. You can call me the troubling man. Matter of fact, I'm from the side of the street. Baby girl, you're calling on me at the time that I feel your presence around me. Something that I can't let go. It's your time, everything around me there. I just wanna hold on, but you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. I just wanna come correct, best I can. Baby, get your foot on my neck. And just before you just leave, baby, I've been trying to tell you I can't breathe. You don't have to find me, baby, I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see, yeah, that you want me free. Damn pressure, I just want pressure.
Chris the Critic Relationship Hour with Gina B. Why you are not married. Number one, you ain't all that. I know that's hard for y'all to swallow. I don't look as good as my 22-year-old self. People need to realize that. You just ain't all that. And I get it. I got this master's degree. I went to this school, that school. I worked hard for this job, for this house. And then she over there got that man, and you don't have one. Men are very simple creatures. So, ladies, for you very accomplished ladies, I got some advice for them.
What's that?
I always say it like this. You can write this one down. Be a kitten, not a cat. What does that mean, Chris?
What does that mean?
You ever played with a kitten? It's real friendly. It almost acts like a puppy. And you want to play with it. You want to look at the little kitty. It just makes you feel good. Now, have you ever seen an adult cat? When it feels like it, it might rub against your leg and move away. But is that men like kittens?
Kittens will play with anybody. A cat is particular.
Listen, what did we learn? Men are very simple creatures.
Right.
You can fool us. We want you to laugh at our dumb jokes. So all you super smart women out there, you good looking women, you see a guy you like, you guys do make it out on a date. He actually pays for the date. When you're actually with that person, the dialogue is happening, the dinner is happening. You say, okay, this might work, this might work. It would help if you act a little blind.
Oh my God. Becky.
I mean, you're going to hear me say that a lot. I mean, be nice to
So
them.
you-
If
okay.
you hear the worst joke ever, but if you sort of like them, laugh at it. There you go. Hey, it's a lot of married women out there. If we got any married women chiming in,
Look, maybe
if
y'all
I'm telling a
little
lie,
funnier. That one's a fake laugh.
let me know.
What you're saying is that we should cater to the male ego, and that's what's ultimately going to get us married.
I'm first saying recognize that I think some of us, more women than men, look in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
You ever seen a little lion look in the mirror and see somebody real big? They see somebody a little more fine than what they are. And I'm not calling anybody ugly, so I'm not here to bash anybody.
Let's look at Middle America, okay? Middle America is not attractive.
They're not?
Middle America is largely married.
Okay, I think we're on the same page then. People sort of, we get stuck to reality shows sometime and think we're supposed to have, I got a degree in a house, so I'm supposed to have Idris Elba or his twin.
Well, I mean, have you noticed, okay, so you remember your friends from high school, right? And you
I do.
remember how
Same friend.
they had all of these qualifications for, if she's going to lock me down, she got to be this, that. She's got to have an ass like, bam.
That's all
she's
we
gotta
really
be-
looked at. Stop right
And
there.
then-
That's really what are men? Simple creatures. We want to be fed.
But-
We want you to laugh at us, give us some, and that's
Okay,
it.
but-
Well, sometimes I go
What's
out
going on, people? Happy Tuesday. Happy March 18th, day 77 of 2025. We only have 288 days left.
That's all. And some of these people still have Christmas trees up, so, might as well just keep them up now because we don't have that many years.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Chris and Gina Relationship Show. I'm Chris the Critic. This is Gina B.
We have a fun guest, our favorite.
And we have our recurring guest hostess. Is it host or hostess?
Hostess.
The one you like. You like host?
Like the cupcake.
Guest host Afton in the building.
Afton in the house.
We even got a little laugh track.
Afton, his hair's getting long. Look at this.
Thank you, girl.
growing
I'm trying
it
to grow it out. I want a nice bob by the summertime.
Afton had a wicked
She wants
fight
a Robert.
where somebody ripped her hair out.
She did not.
He's so
And
extreme.
now it's sort of growing back where it looks almost normal.
Okay.
Thanks.
What day is it today? What day?
It is National Sloppy Joe Day.
Oh.
Hate a sloppy Joe.
I get excited when sloppy.
I actually like sloppy.
I get
Oh,
excited
hate a
right
sloppy
now.
I like a gourmet sloppy
My wife
Joe.
is watching. I
I
want
knew you
Sloppy
didn't like
Joe
the
Day.
regular sloppy Joe.
No, I don't like those. I like
At
the
the can.
gourmet ones, like
No.
the kinds that you
No.
make like with the fresh
No.
What is the
tomatoes.
sauce?
I like mine on a
It's
flimsy.
tomatoes.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Worcestershire.
There is no gourmet
Yes,
Sloppy
there is.
Joe.
Yes.
So
It's
is it on like a
tomatoes.
toasted
Yes,
brioche
a
bun?
toasted brioche bun. It's
Okay.
meat that you brown. You put, and then the sauce is like tomato sauce, is Worcestershire. There's a little bit of vinegar. There's brown sugar. I mean, it's a whole
Did
thing.
you
There's
li-
onions,
Did you just say a brioche?
brioche. Toasted.
Sloppy Joes are to be eaten on a generic hamburger bun
No.
from any convenience store.
I said gourmet.
Or what's even best is a soggy piece of white bread.
That is not. No, that is. See, that's the thing.
That's
DJ.
what I don't like about
Am I
it.
lying,
Ugh.
DJ? Is that the best way to eat sloppy
That
Joe?
is not the
I've
best
never
way
heard of anything they talking about.
to eat anything. Okay, so
That ain't
So-
even a sloppy
so
Joe.
wait a
That's
minute.
y'all eating a Joe.
So is it
That
just-
ain't even a sloppy Joe.
Is it just a wet hamburger?
Pretty
it's
much.
a bread broken up hamburger from what,
I don't
but
want
not the way that I make it. First of all, I eat ground turkey or ground chicken, so we have a whole day. Anyway, anyone want to know how to make it? Gourmet sloppy Joe. Holla at your
It's
girl.
also National Awkward Moments Day.
Oh, okay. Like as in describing nasty ass sloppy joes that you'd like to eat. That awkward.
That
moment.
wasn't
That's pretty
awkward at
awkward.
all.
That was awkward.
That was
because
awkward.
I don't want that.
Kemosabe, big ballin' is my hobby, says that he wishes it was sloppy hoe day. I'm just yeah, that's what he said.
The show,
I did
please
not- I
put
did not
children
say this.
up for this show.
Yeah, put 'em away.
It
Stow your
is-
children.
It is National, what's this, Lacy Oatmeal Cookie Day?
What? Oh, the lacy, the kind with the drizzled. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. If
Is
there must
that-
be a day
I
for
don't,
that.
I don't know that either, guys.
I'm not sure that that's
It's
so
National
relevant.
we'll skip Biodiesel Day.
But no, let's skip that.
But it's National Supreme Sacrifice Day.
None of these are
For
really
all
making me
those
happy.
who've made the ultimate sacrifice, we thank you. Hopefully it was for a good cause.
Well, that segues us nicely into our topic.
Exactly.
Supreme sacrifices, right?
Look, for anybody, real quick, housekeeping. For anybody who's not ever seen the show, this Chris and Gina relationship show, we do every week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. We talk about sex, marriage, money, relationships, everything in between. Yours truly, this relationship expert, feels that the biggest problem plaguing us is the breakdown of the nuclear family, at least in this country. That is tearing this up.
It's problematic.
So today, we looked at a role oft overlooked. And if you
And
ask,
downplayed and underrated.
Well, you know what? I'm going to put
For
the,
people who do it correctly.
I'm going to put the cart ahead of the horse. I used to be against the stepfather role. I thought it was tough, right? It is tough, which is why I was against it. But there is a red pill faction of the world. You know, I call them they think, you know, there are some things wrong in the world, but they think everything
I hear a noise.
woman related is wrong. I call those the red pill guys,
Yeah.
right? A lot of
I think
those
they're
guys, some of them,
I
lot
think
of
they're
those,
gay.
they just, you know what it is? They just get no sex.
Yeah.
That's
Which
what it is.
probably means that they're turning gay.
If you get no
Or
sex,
at least
that's,
A.
Yeah.
These are the gay
All right,
or
wait a minute.
asexual.
I'm not defending them, but
I'm not here
but
for
you
the
don't
Red Pill
turn
Brothers
you
at all.
don't turn gay just because you don't get the ass.
I think some of them do.
Well, I think you turn asexual. Like you just may learn to.
You just watch a lot of porn and beat off.
Maybe.
Now, anyway,
Gross.
There's a faction over there
Everybody
that
beats
talks down on the role of a stepdad. They call the step.
We missed Gina's little sidebar. We keep going.
I'm like everybody beats up.
Gina B, get focused.
I
She
focus.
smokes before the show.
I do not.
Or whatever it is.
I
you
smoke
do.
after the show, for the record.
Anyway, there's a red pill faction that calls stepdads simps. I don't. First off, I'm anti-simp. I'm not anti-stepdad, so I'm vehemently against
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if he loved a woman, why you gotta make him a simp?
Well, the definition of a simp is someone who does. It's okay for a man to do anything for a woman, but if it's unrequited,
Unrequited.
no affection back,
Well,
then it's
okay,
a simp. It's
but
like if
that
I'm
doesn't mean-
taking you out, and I take you out to all these nice restaurants, and you don't say thank you, I don't get to hug you, I don't.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a simp.
You're
if
a
you
simp.
keep doing
I'm
it.
taking
So
advantage.
for the
yeah.
woman who's just
Exactly.
so it's a simp.
Well, he allows himself to be taken advantage
Agreed.
of.
He's a simp if the woman's like, "Oh, daddy, I just want you to take my baby out to get a sloppy Joe."
If he's getting
he's a
something in
simp.
return, cool.
Okay, but so if he's getting some ass in return, basically,
Or anything, or any sort of
if
whatever
not,
it is.
he's a simp. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway.
There we go.
Anyway,
All
so
right.
I don't think
Now
that's
that
so.
we've cleared that up.
But anyway, back to the show.
Okay.
So before Gina B starts, we're gonna pepper after with questions.
Of course we are.
Wait, why do I have to get peppered?
Because you're here.
Can I set this up?
I think
ladies?
we established before the show. Anyway, go ahead.
So we all have a little bit of something experience in this world, even
Yes,
though
some.
no one here is an actual stepdad. However, Gina B, you recently got married,
I did.
and your husband had a daughter.
Had it up.
So we'll talk about because we're gonna talk about the differences slightly
That's a
between stepmoms.
mother thing. Let's get more into the father.
Right, we're gonna talk
thing.
about stepmom, stepdad. Me, I had a kid, and my wife was in a similar situation as you.
right. Step
So
mother.
I got that, and then after it's unique.
You like throwing me in this, man.
Hopefully,
Well, you're here.
hopefully you're about to walk down. We won't jinx it.
Well,
Walk
but-
down the aisle.
Okay,
And you have a daughter, and this guy will be. Hold on, let's let people know who she is. You
was
have a
gonna get
daughter, and you'd be marrying somebody, so he would be a stepdad,
well,
and
let's,
he would have to interact with your daughter's father.
okay, but let's back it all the way up. Afton also had a stepfather. So
Oh, yeah, you went
let's-
this all the way.
Yes. So
we do have a
and
stepdad
she did
here.
say yes. So that's if you let me do my job.
I'm done.
Okay, so the first order of business is the role. It's the role of the stepfather is what we're talking about tonight, people. In case, because you know who will go off on a tangent. And I'm just not naming names. But see how I do him. But realistically, the thing about step parenting, step fathering, is it can get a bad rap. But there are a lot of men who step in into situations and raise kids really well in the place of their biological fathers and really become the dad. And so I know, a couple weeks ago, we had Afton in the studio and she was talking about how she had a really positive relationship and situation with her stepdad. So I would love to just kind of start with that. So what were your first thoughts when your stepfather came into your life as a child? And how old were you?
Okay. So I was like 2.
Right, so you didn't really have thoughts.
No, I didn't have a lot of thoughts.
Are you sure? Do you remember being 2?
Yeah, for real. Well, based off the pictures, I know I was about 2. And so I remember she was dating 2 guys.
You don't remember that?
I do remember that because there was
At
2
2?
of them. Yeah.
Just stop questioning
Well,
her
it
about
might have
your
been maybe 3 or
Okay,
4,
go ahead.
but it kept going. So it was 2 guys.
You hating on your mama. Don't tell
And
me.
one of them, so my stepfather passed away. Actually, first of all, I hate the word step.
That's your
Step-
daddy.
People, you know
Well,
what?
for the purpose
I
of
like bonus.
Bonus.
Okay,
Well,
use
it's
that.
all
That's fine.
connotative because it has a meaning, and I think that the step has gotten a bad rap. Is my point.
I agree. My sister-in-law just told me the other day. She said her mother told her that step is something that you put your feet on.
That's funny.
And so
that's hilarious.
That's where she was like, I didn't use
Well,
that.
because it's a step away. I mean, okay. Anyway, all right.
It's funky.
Okay,
And then it
whatever
gets
you'd
the
like to call
bad,
it.
you get, think about Cinderella. You got the wicked stepmother and all of that.
Disney has ruined so many things for so
They
many people.
have.
Step
Yeah.
used to be a good word. No, I'm playing.
God. So,
All right. Anyway,
so I
Afton.
like bonus.
Okay.
But just because I think it's just an addition. But yeah, so anyway, she was dating 2 guys when I was a little kid, and then she ended up, one of them faded away, and then she ended up marrying the other one. And so they both were cool, and I knew, kind of to just shut up and roll, and whoever picked us up and hung out that day, and that's what it was. And then she ended up marrying one, and she was with him. He passed away when I graduated from high school.
Okay.
So he's in my whole life.
So your experience with him was he a father? Like
Yeah.
he was your dad?
He was my dad.
He was your dad.
He's my full-on dad.
Now-
So he adopted me too. So my full-on dad.
So was your biological father in the picture?
No.
He was not.
No.
That makes a difference.
So it made it
actually.
easier too, probably,
That does.
for,
It makes
for a man to
difference.
come in and you don't have to deal with anybody else.
Exactly.
I definitely think that makes it easy.
Did he have full authority to discipline you if you were acting?
Well,
an ass?
you know what? And because I got the kid too now, I don't think he had to do anything. My mom kind of kept everything in check.
Okay.
And I'm kind of, because honestly, you don't want your kid to even be a burden on anybody else. You
So
don't want to.
do you know, or do you plan on? It's good that you said your mom sort of had that. Do you think they had a? Sounds like they knew how to handle that. Because different people, as long as 2 people agree on how to handle that, I think that works.
I agree.
It's when they don't agree or discuss.
So I feel like, and this might be just because of my situation, my mom had me in check where he could just like, okay, well, I'm gonna call your mom.
Okay, good.
And I'm like, ooh, okay.
Don't call her.
So he was like he was honestly like the cool person, he was the liaison between us. So she might have made me mad. I'm like, I want to go to my grandma's house. He was like, okay, get your bag. I'll take you before she gets home.
I think you got to be
that's-
like that.
yeah,
don't you?
So he was great.
So he was. So now, did your mother? Well, she obviously had to have supported your relationship with him. But do you feel that your separate relationship with him was supported by your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys did
Yeah.
things. So
No,
he was,
yeah, we did. Yeah.
He was a full-on dad.
Full on dad.
Okay.
I called him by his name though.
Oh, you did?
Because I think I met him so young. So just transitioning into being like dad, it's just a little awkward.
Or you probably heard your mom.
Well,
say it.
I called him Eric.
Whatever you heard people calling him, you called.
Yeah,
used to
I
call
met him so young.
I used to call my parents.
But I would think, okay, if you met him young, I would think that you would have called him dad. No.
But remember, my mom was dating 2 guys,
Right.
so she's a young woman at the time. So
She
she was
can't be just
dating
calling one of them
everybody.
dad.
Yeah,
Yeah. You just dad's a safe name. Because,
yeah.
I call my parents by their first name.
Yeah, I noticed that you do.
You do?
My uncle was
Nah.
raised with us.
Nah, I can't do that.
Well, my uncle and brother were around the same age, but my brother was 2. I mean, my uncle was 2 when my brother was born. So my brother did what my uncle did, and they never stopped it. And then I came along 6 years later and did what they did. Nobody ever stopped.
Okay.
Kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, I called him, but then I got one of my girlfriends. She met her stepdad maybe like 8 or 9, and she called him dad.
Yeah.
She went right on in and
So-
just started calling him dad.
So do you think, I think that was the ideal situation. Your biological wasn't around, and you were really young. Let's discuss, if Gina B's ready to go there, some not so, where it's more difficult. Where
Yeah,
what
let's
if
talk
it's a
about
guy
that.
and she has a son who's a rough 12.
You see, that's where things get a little,
You know what I'm saying?
little itchy,
Right.
right? Because when you've got a person who, you know, your mother marries a guy and you're a teenager,
Right.
when you don't like anybody in the first place, like that includes your mama, your daddy,
Everybody.
anybody who you come in contact with.
Yeah.
And then you've got this person in your life who sometimes would have responsibility for you, but not the authority to discipline
Man,
you.
yeah.
So we just had that too. One of my girlfriends has older sons, got married, and one of my other buddies never had a stepfather. He's also an older gentleman, and he feels like that the stepdad should have been able to come in and just instantly whoop ass. And I don't think you can do that.
Right.
You
can't,
need a
'cause
relationship.
You need a relationship.
And there needs to be respect.
It needs to be respect. I don't feel like whooping ass is something that people can just do to other people's kids if they don't have a relationship or a love for them.
Right. Here's what could happen.
Let's hear
along those
my
lines.
neighborhood.
I'm in high school.
Anybody could beat your ass.
I'm in high school.
That's how he thought.
Buddy.
He was thinking like back in the day.
Man, a lot of
your
guys thought
neighbor,
that.
everybody
Listen,
could whoop ass.
And I'm we're going to a party. I'm at a Mendel Catholic high school party.
Which wild
One of my
stuff.
buddies down the street, dad passed away. A few years later, married an older gentleman.
Okay.
This guy, and they were a little wild at that time. Two brothers, teens, we're at a party. He walks into a high school party fussing, where y'all at, blah, 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 blah. Can you imagine the embarrassment that my buddy had? He swung on him, stole on him.
Oh, damn.
Your friend stole on the
He's-
stepdad.
Yeah, and it was an older man. However, my buddy's he was a little dude, like 145, 5. But he tried to grab him. Come on, we going on. He's like, man, get off, you know.
He's like, dude, I don't know you. You ain't my daddy.
Exactly. Now, to your point, you have to move in with ease.
Yeah.
Because a lot of naysayers who don't want to be stepdads will say, well, wait a minute. I got to provide for this kid or kids. I'm paying for clothes. I'm paying for food. It's my home. I should be able to discipline. But to your point, you got to ease in there. And I still think Afton's right on the money. Number one, you got to earn the respect. And two, the goal is not to have someone disciplined. The goal is to make sure the child is disciplined. So if it has to be the mom, as long as the dad still feels respected, I don't see a problem with that.
I agree.
Yeah, the
But
dad needs to still feel
It's
respect.
when the mom does it. It's when, oh, wait a minute, and she's babying, especially a boy, and he's getting away with some BS. That can be a problem.
Yeah.
And it
That-
also works best if the dads, ideally, you want the dads to have a good
The
relationship.
dad should be cool too.
That would
That's
make
it.
everything
That's-
so much easier. Hey, man, take my phone number.
The-
If something happens, I'm going to call you. How you want me to deal with it? Hey, man, he did what?
We had that
I hold
debate.
him over there. I'll be over there and do. If they got
Exactly.
along, that would serve a long way.
So we had that debate and with my guy, and so he said that, hey, if this was you with your son, I would say, hey, this is we gonna either do it this way, or hey, it's either him or me.
Okay, let's
Like,
back
we're
up.
not
And,
gonna go
let's
there.
back up and explain this. So, Afton is in a relationship
your
with someone. I
notes.
told you I had notes. Afton
you
is
were
in a
fucking
relationship.
around.
See, I'm never fucking
I
around.
can relax.
So Afton's in a relationship. She has a child by a previous relationship, and she's trying to avoid tension between the father of your daughter and your guy. Is that accurate, or am I?
I'm not trying to avoid tension. There shouldn't
There
be
should
any
not be
tension.
any
Yeah,
tension.
yeah.
Right.
I don't think
She-
there's
she-
any
Hold on,
tension.
hold on.
Okay.
There is, if it's two men involved, and there's a woman, I don't care if one's, it's always a low-level threat of violence.
Well, it might.
It is
be.
what it is.
Is
You're
it DEFCON
correct.
1
so
or
they,
5?
So they haven't met.
See?
They haven't met. And I don't really know how to do that. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but
Maybe a birthday party or something.
that's what
I was
thinking.
about to give you my notebooks, like take some things for you to do.
Yeah, I don't know how
They
we're gonna do
gotta
that.
meet. Because how long you been with this guy?
A year and some
And
change.
it's getting a little,
Yeah, so I don't know how they're gonna meet. I don't think the dad wants to necessarily meet. He's open to meeting.
the new dude or the new woman is always
Whoever is
usually,
always open to meet.
why isn't the dad ready to meet? You're gonna have to say,
I
hey,
mean, well, we know the answers to that.
this
Probably
man
why
is-
the daddy still want to be.
I don't even know why anybody want to be around you like that. No, it's
Well, let's be clear.
So think about
There's
it.
a little bit of
what if you said, hey, listen, I don't want you to be uncomfortable. Here's where this is going. I want you to know who's around your kid.
Well, I tried to do that. Like, we had to drop the kid off before.
Oh, okay.
We had to drop the kid off, and I
Is
I
he
just-
as big as your
Yep,
kid's father?
they're the same. And so I just got out and took her in.
Who can win the fight? I mean,
okay, Chris. Tangent. Go ahead.
that's a big news.
Starting shit now.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Yeah, so I just took him in, but then it was out the way to avoid not having him with us.
Did he get out of the car and walk to the door?
He didn't. He
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
And the dad was in the restaurant. I took the kid in. So, but then it was another time he had to pick her up from the aunt's house. So the guy picked her up from the aunt's house. They were down the street from each other. And I was like, well, hell, I'm not about to make the commute. So the dad was pissed. But it was like, well, hey, I mean, how do you want to do this? We should go out and get ice cream or what? What you want to do?
Right. Just
Yeah.
Like this where we're at. Because I'm dying to meet his lady friend. I just don't know if she's serious or not, though.
We have some questions from our audience. Okay, first of all, Chris Bryce Bell would like for me to break down
We got a lot
the
of
step
Chris's.
for us, the step thing. And really, okay, so the origin of the word step, and I kind of misspoke on it earlier. I said stepway. Actually, it comes from, it's got British origins because of course it does. And it's when a man married a woman who had basically been a widow and raised the kid, so we
steps
kind
up.
of stepped in.
Okay.
Right. So that was step. Okay, so that's where it comes from. Kim Sami, Big Volunteer is my hubby, says he would not marry her with a child if he didn't have a relationship with the kid. So there would not be the building of that necessary.
I
So we
agree.
can just go in full up and
I
ass.
don't agree with that.
No? You don't agree with what? The meaning?
I don't know. Well, some women, and at least me when I had a kid, I do think he's right. Before you got married, you'd meet. But I didn't really have people around my kid to get to know and get comfortable and get to know until I knew I was getting married.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
right, but like once you figure that out,
But that's what I'm saying. You know him, but you wouldn't. Your relationship ain't with the kid. And I don't think kids, are you not going to marry the woman because the kid doesn't like you?
If it's a little kid, I don't think I'm doing it.
right.
My person happens to have grown kids, so.
But my point is.
But I still want them to like me
wait,
too.
but-
That's not what I'm
how
at.
long before you
That's
introduced
not
your
what I'm
kid?
saying. But
How long do you?
How long before you introduced your child to
But is there a situation?
you know what? So remember, I had two dating experiences since having a child, and so I think it just depends. So I guess if the situation is moving faster, then you kind of like tap it in. So our very first thing we did, he has a granddaughter. So the granddaughter and Nala, we went to the Ice Capades,
him? Okay.
and so that kind of like smoothed it over.
But my question was, we didn't get it. Would you ever not marry somebody because their kid didn't like you?
Yes, I don't want to be by that little asshole forever if he's
And-
bad like that.
if
No.
if I wanted to marry a woman and she wanted to marry me, my kids be damned, their kids be damned. We'll figure that out. Kids don't make decisions.
That kids don't make decisions,
they
but if it is a
they can
parent
make your
who
life
is,
hard.
they could make your life hell. And if there's a parent who's not on your side
That's
to
what I
have this
said.
little
I said-
fucker
I was
respect
real
you,
clear. If that person wanted to marry me and I wanted to marry them, the kids would just whatever.
I think y'all got to talk that out before though,
Of course.
like before marriage.
Of course.
Because now he's 12, and now he's like, Chris, get out of here! I ain't taking no garbage out.
Again, of course.
Right.
But
It's
I'm
always
like,
the
who
more
wants to deal
badass
with that?
boys.
Yeah.
But then girls can be kind of underhanded
They
too.
are too.
They're you know what? Girls are underhanded in ways that men. It's like submarine versus above ground warfare, right? The girls are so submarine, and their fathers don't really see it.
Until they're not.
They don't.
They
They don't.
do not
Like
see it.
my look, like
Girlfriend who he's been with for 3 years has, maybe she's 15, let's just say she is, right? And he has never met that child's father. And his girlfriend asked him one day hey, can you pick her up or drop her off at the doctor? Because
What?
she had to go to the doctor.
How old is this person?
The child?
Yeah.
Like 15 or something. Go just drop
Yeah,
her
that's
off.
a little squirrely.
Didn't have to go in. Like he isn't like in there when she's getting a
And he
pelvic.
hadn't met-
but he just
but-
dropped her off,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know about
and
this.
But that was, he was squirrely about that.
Yeah, I don't
so he
know
said,
about
I
this.
think I need to meet
Absolutely.
her father
Yes.
because I don't,
Yeah.
like this
But
is a little too.
the daddy gotta want to meet, like I said.
and he was like, nah. I mean, it got
I wouldn't take it.
contentious. Like he was like, okay, well, do you want to meet? Like there was a game. Do you want to meet? And the baby daddy was like, or her ex-husband, whatever we're calling him, was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's what mine saying.
Yeah. And I guess
Guess
maybe
you'll find out after you get married. Y'all just show up one day like all dressed alike.
I don't know. I'm here to meet everybody. Let's be a family.
Yeah.
Just
so
is what
so
it
you
is,
would be
Mom.
so now if the tables were turned and your daughter's father had a girlfriend,
He got somebody or somebody's.
He's just hitting
he
on
got-
so.
but does he have
Probably.
anybody serious?
I mean, the kid said it, so
Okay, so does it bother you if he has randos around your daughter, like random women?
we had this discussion, Gina. You can't
know.
do nothing about it.
That's true. Okay, fair.
You can't do nothing about it. You just gotta let it go.
You might be the most mature.
You gotta respect. Wait. I'm only this way now.
I was about to say.
I'm only this way now. I wasn't this way. But you gotta just like let it roll. I mean, he's the dad, so he's not gonna let nothing happen to her.
Wow.
So we covered some of the common pitfalls to avoid with step parenting. Okay, so one is trying
Afton
to
would like a little more apple
replace.
juice when you
Okay,
make
fine.
change.
Trying to replace the
Oh.
biological
Get a
parent,
little more.
where the kids may resist if they feel their biological parents being pushed aside. Like you ain't my daddy, you're not my mama.
You ain't my daddy.
Right? So that's one. Rushing the relationship is something that
Wait,
some
didn't we get a
kids
note
don't.
recently?
I think my grandma did that. I'm not my grandma. My mom rushed the second marriage. We hated that guy, everybody.
What?
Wait, so
And she pushed him on everybody.
And did he go away?
He did. She divorced him. And
Okay.
I mean, but he was just a jerk and nobody liked him. My grandma didn't like him. I didn't like
Does
him. Nobody
anybody
liked him.
really like the stepdad a lot?
I don't think so.
That first one we loved.
See, that's my theory. I just assume that people aren't really that excited about steps.
Do people even like their dads much? I mean, it is what.
I love my
I mean, dads go up and down for
Yeah,
people.
they do.
You know.
I love my dad.
Well, your dad was awesome.
My dad was cool.
But
I
people
my
don't
dad.
love. People appreciate dads more when they're gone, because a dad has to be a disciplinarian.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
have some
Go,
apple
I need
juice?
some
Hey,
little
you
more
got
apple
apple
juice.
juice?
I could have used a little more ice, but that's okay. I can handle it.
You can do this, girl.
I can.
Apple juice I know is a little strong.
I don't encourage drinking on the show, but you can't stop these ladies these days.
You know, it's like the same thing about having your kids around
So-
hoes. You
so-
can't do anything about it, so you may as well roll
can't.
with it.
So you might as well roll with it,
That's
man.
the same
Make
thing
the
with
best.
drinking on the show. Okay, so
Chris, don't forget your Sprite. We know you need some.
Wow. Wow.
because Chris is what? Oh,
It's
he's a
7
Sprite. Because Chris is a Sprite drinker.
Right on air.
Because Chris is a Sprite drinker.
Just call me. Hey, Chris. Hey, BITCH. Hey, you little skirt wind.
Hey, Bi.
Hey, Trick. Get your job. That's how you feel.
Or as my husband
Anywho.
would say, squat pissing, bitch.
That was a good one.
He's so
Ooh.
mean. Anyway, no, but I just assume that people don't like step. This is where, see, I think I
Validation.
furthered the connotation. Like I just assumed that my now husband's daughter just wouldn't like me anyway.
Really?
I assume that.
No, Gina. No, I think I'm liking the idea of stepdaughters. It's not.
But you
bothering
haven't
me.
even met the mom.
Oh no, never met the
Really?
mom.
And she's been
Well,
married like how long?
Yeah. A
Well,
minute.
we've been together for 16, but no, I never. Well, here's the reason. The reason why. Well, there's a couple reasons.
How
but-
not to do this
but,
right now.
no,
This is how not
Here,
to do this.
Right here. Don't do
How
anything
not to do this.
that I'm about to say.
Right.
So, no, it was a contentious situation, and I was trying to be under the and by the time he and I were together, it was contentious already. And so I'm like, look, I'm not here to be in the middle of all your contention. Like I was like,
How
y'all
old is the kid?
now
Yeah.
At the time.
she's in her early 20s. Now she was 7. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was not trying to be like, I don't know if I like you, much less like I didn't
around
want to
your
be
kid.
involved in that. Like I was trying to have an organic relationship without having that
Yeah.
too much of that.
What does that mean?
Because that taints. Because just can I just get to know this guy? Like can I just figure this out?
Well, it's hard, Gina, because when you got kids, you kind of gotta you don't have all the free time, so you gotta bring.
Well,
And
he had some
I
pretty good
need
free
to
time.
know that Nala liked Guy.
Right.
She
Yeah, that
gotta
was
like
tough.
him.
I-
I
Well,
can't.
because you are with her the majority of the time.
I am.
Right, and that's
That's the biggest difference.
And I have a girl, and I would be
Yeah,
with
a
a
girl.
man.
Yeah,
so
and no
you
one
gotta
know,
know.
like,
But
you
it's
gotta
always
know it's
tougher
not-
for the guys because the woman usually has custody.
Usually,
Right.
yeah,
So
Generally.
your guy, if he's entertaining, your daughter's probably not over there.
yeah.
It's easy to schedule around it.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. And there were, I've dated women who've had kids, and honestly, I was like Gina B. I was like, what time they go to sleep?
Yeah.
I mean,
And honestly, my guy
I
said
mean, like
that's
that.
what he did back in the day. He said he would be like,
Right.
"Hey, my kids wake up at this. You got to go."
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah,
keep it quiet.
because
Keep it quiet.
why-
Keep it
and
quiet.
also part of it was I didn't want to be all up in their relationship. you know what I mean? Like every time she saw him, she didn't want to see me.
True.
Like I assumed this about, and this wasn't anything that anyone told me. I mean, I just made the assumption, like I put myself in, like if my father and my mother had been divorced, which they were not, but if my father had a girlfriend, would I always want to, every time I saw my father, would I want to see his girl? I wouldn't.
No.
I'd want to hang out with my father. So I, afforded that opportunity and just like, okay, hang out with your daughter. Like, do that with your daughter. Like, don't, I don't need to be all up in the middle of that. Right.
I think the only reason you want to be around all the time is usually when you don't trust your man.
Right. And I'm just
because
like,
now you scared he hitting the mama on the low.
Oh yeah, I wasn't worried about that.
Yeah, so I think once you pass that, you like go do y'all thing.
Yeah, that was a whole hot mess. But yeah, I that wasn't a thing. But the reason why we haven't met is because she just like absconded to California, and so she doesn't even live here. That's one of the she doesn't live here anyway.
So y'all gonna meet at like the daughter's wedding?
No.
Wow.
That's a whole conversation.
All right, we'll leave it off.
Likely no, but
Again, how not to do this?
just yeah.
Well, I want to be. So I'm also an only child. Well, I'm an only child until these father siblings came into my life. So I grew up an only child.
Right.
Okay,
Then you meet the other kids.
then I met them as an
That's
adult.
half of America.
So you have half something.
Yes.
I have half siblings that I just met 2 years ago.
Oh, see, you are an only child.
I'm an only child.
I have a half sister by my dad's first marriage. We never grew up in the same house or anything, but she's people hate when I say this. We're both only children.
Yeah.
She and I, because she's a lot older than me. And so I'll say my half sister, because then if I say my sister, people get extremely confused.
But technically, I think if it's the dad's child, we refer to it as a sister
we do.
or brother.
Yeah.
No. If it's the dad, we say half. If it's the mom because it came out the same time, then it's your sister.
And
like,
usually
you don't
you're
say
the
the
guy.
I would
same.
like you to look that up before the end of the show.
I will.
We do. We don't. It's a difference.
I will.
It could be wild. It's one of the two.
But
So
people-
when it come out your mom, you say your half sister.
No,
Just
you
because y'all
don't.
got different daddies.
No,
Yes.
you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You
It's
say
that daddy that nobody claims.
And
Y'all
then,
about to
then there are people.
They ain't
Then
gonna be
there are
fucking
people
with
who
me.
get upset. They say there ain't no halves in my family. I'm like, well, I'm just referring. I'm a person who refers to things as they are.
I actually
Now,
feel like
I don't give connotation to it, right?
I agree.
It just is what it is. We have different mothers, the same father. She's a lot older than me. We're both only children.
Well, my other siblings are white, so I think that's the piece that's a little different.
Yeah.
So
Well,
when because if I'm with my mom, I can't be like, it's a little odd.
Everyone was wrong.
No, your Google is wrong.
what does it say? Have siblings share? But it says
Share one biological
parent.
Yeah, that's the truth of what it is, but
that's
that's
what
not
it
how we
is.
talk about it.
Yeah, it's the connotation that we're talking about, not it is the
We
sharing
know
of
that's
one
what it
parent.
is.
Biologically, that's what it is. That's why I refer to it the way it is, because that's what it is. And people are like, I don't like that. People don't like the term because it implies that you're like less than.
Yeah.
And it isn't that. It's like, it just is kind of what it is.
Yeah. So if I'm talking about them, I wouldn't. I mean, but if I had to describe it, and now people are going to be confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
your mom had more kids. I'm like, no, not quite.
Well, I wouldn't say that, like, if she's sitting here. This is my half sister. I mean, you know what? Maybe I would, like, knowing me.
Hi, this is my half sister.
She would not like that, probably.
Yeah.
Who would?
She wouldn't love it.
My half sister. Yeah. No,
She wouldn't love that,
She
Gina.
wouldn't like it. But but it is what it is, right? So just to avoid, because people get very confused about these things. Like people knew.
You know what, Gina? It's none of nobody's damn business. That's the bigger piece of it.
That is fair. That is very fair. It is nobody's business. But at the same time, people who've known you for a long time, they're like, oh, is that, is so-and-so her biological father or her father? I mean, people just ask questions.
But see, they can ask those questions on the low, because if they want to ask them while she's sitting here, they're being too damn nosy and it's none of their business. This is my
that's
sister,
fair.
and keep it moving.
that's
Even
fair.
if she's a god sister.
Well,
And black people got
will
a bunch
say-
of god sisters.
See, and I'm not one of those people either. Like, if I say someone's my cousin, they are legit. Like, my mother's brother had
No,
children. That's who my cousins are.
I was an only child. I got a lot of cousins.
See,
I
I
got a
don't have
bunch
that.
of kids calling me
She got a bunch
TT.
of uncles.
No, I got no uncles now. Wait a minute.
Another connotation.
Wait, I think my mom was
Yeah.
watching while you being funny, Chris. Talking about I got a bunch of random uncles.
That's what she said
Funny
outside.
uncle. Turn around, girl. Let me see you. Those kinds of uncles. Those
Gina, I want to throw some
nasty uncles.
issues out
All right.
and I want you to address them because I know you got me your questions.
Yeah.
These are just some of the issues that I wrote down that I thought
Okay.
stepdads complain about. Privacy,
Yes.
because all these people all of a sudden, because we're talking like one kid, a lot of times more than one kid.
Well,
right?
it's also
wait,
weird.
what do we mean privacy?
Well, these are just complaints that
Like,
stepdad.
okay.
I asked,
Like no privacy in the house, or?
I polled a stepdad. So disciplining was an issue because you know, and I knew two guys in this situation that were with women they had kids who were little. But when they get unruly, the mom wants you to stop. So it wasn't a big issue with either, but it's an issue.
Okay, so let's back up. Privacy in the house. Like, okay, it's weird to walk around in your drawers in front of somebody else's kid.
And yeah, you shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that. So that's privacy. Or privacy is in, we're trying to get it in, and you hear this little mom. So is it that kind of privacy?
Well, no,
too.
I think it's more that this used to be my sitting area, my den where I watch football. Now there are
toys.
4 little neighborhood kids in here with my son playing Sega or whatever the video. Not walking around in your drawers.
Well, maybe you're in
Well,
your
y'all
drawers
mad.
watching football.
I think that's where mom taps in and say, hey, y'all go to the basement. Or
Right,
see your friends
exactly.
outside or something.
You and your little friends
space
need to
is
go somewhere.
compromised is all I'm saying.
Yeah, space can be compromised. That's true.
You have to, one of them said that he always had to plan with the wife, like schedules. If they were going on a vacation, you had to make sure it was cool with somebody else.
Oh, yeah, the scheduling thing.
Oh,
the
that
lots of
would've-
moving parts on
That-
scheduling.
My stuff is flexible, but that would annoy me.
Yeah, and I know people, fortunately this is not any issue that I've personally experienced, but I know people whose exes would like intentionally throw a wrench in
absolutely.
their plans just to keep them from having fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't keep so-and-so.
Absolutely.
Or they would say, I'm not signing a paper for a passport, so you
Or-
can't
Yeah.
take them with
Or if
you.
you're trying to, right, or you're trying to take, I had so-and-so planned for them.
Yeah.
At this
Yeah,
time.
you can't do it. You can't take, you're not taking my child out the country
I
with
don't
that
give
man.
that kind of smoke. I'm a great BM.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, and one guy said, well, I'm supposed to be a provider, a protector, and a disciplinarian. It's tough doing that last one. We talked about it, the discipline, because usually, and both of the guys that I talked to, they weren't bad, but the moms, there have been times where, well, wait a minute, let's do it like this. And the kid sees that. And
Well, I
that
think
presents an issue.
You're supposed to have that check later.
Yeah.
If you don't agree, so luckily me and my person have similar parenting styles.
Okay.
So I agree with some of the stuff, and he's been a parent much longer than me. But when you don't have the same, I can see that being a problem.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if he says something like example, he told her stop leaving spit in the, when she brushed her teeth, leaving it in her bathroom, like leaving it in the sink.
Did she get mad?
No, I mean he was right.
Right.
And so when she did it, I said, hey, what did, and she's like, oh yeah. She cleaned it on out and stuff.
good.
And so now it's a habit that
Right.
she's cleaning up.
Speaking of spit, I threw up a video recently.
I'm like, where are we going
I
with
don't
this?
know.
I know,
if
right? I didn't know either.
There's a little girl. She looks ethnic. I don't know, Mexican, or Asian, and the guy's black, but he's sitting in bed holding a little boy. The boy looks mixed. It's the video. It's a TikTok video. The little girl, whatever happens, spits in his face.
Oh, I saw
the
that.
mom runs in.
I would have beat her
Oh,
down.
so wait, we were talking about the mom runs in. He's like, I can't believe. And she's like, you don't. And the mom goes off, but he did give her the opportunity. He's like, you got to take care of that.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. And she kept saying he left the screen, came back, called my son with the belt. She's like, no, you're angry. He wasn't really yelling. She was yelling at him. He was fairly calm. But all I was thinking to myself, that little girl needs her ass whooped.
She does need her ass whooped, but
Repeatedly.
if that's not an ass whooping, if
Well, we
that,
didn't know. I don't even know if that's her biological. It's just the way that he
And
was
why was
acting.
the camera
I
on
seen that.
anyway?
The way that he
it
was.
was, and that's what makes it fake because it's Instagram. But anyway,
But
we
those
get
are
it.
things that happen.
Yeah.
The little
But-
girl showed no remorse.
I saw it. I saw it.
Anybody spits on me, they're just gonna have to peel me off of them.
If that was a stepfather, I think the mom should have whooped her ass.
Absolutely.
If that was her dad,
shoulda
then I
whooped-
think the dad should have whooped her ass.
Or at least snatched her up on sight.
I mean, I think the dad should have whooped her ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, point
Period.
blank.
You
Someone's
spit
getting
on
their ass
somebody's
whooped.
because an adult's getting their
Well,
ass
there
whooped.
was-
Whoop it,
exactly.
spit it.
There were some people, and I just said, how would you discipline? This wasn't even a step. There were some people, these new age folk.
Talking. Oh, Jimmy.
That's not going to
I don't want her to be in
solve this. And I
therapy.
was like, oh shit, it wouldn't. Check
Go,
it out.
you stand in the corner. You don't get your iPad for the rest of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, you're gonna be ungrounded for the whole summer. The girl didn't care. You saw
I
me.
saw her.
It would
I
be
saw
standing
her.
in the corner because you wouldn't be able to sit down after I got done
was
with
horrible.
you.
Yeah, I saw her. But like you said, a lot of people are not into ass whooping nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't. They like call the police on you and all kinds of stuff.
My daughter's gonna be taller than me. I whoop ass now.
You got you now.
Yeah, but you know what? If you do it correctly, all you have to do it is a couple times.
You're right.
You don't have
she
to.
She brought it up the other day. Mom, I haven't had a pop-up in a long time.
It's like, yep. Yep.
Like, you're doing good, right?
Yeah. Yep. My godchildren is so
What you
fun.
call it?
A pop-pop.
That pop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
Because
Get
we
a
started
whooping.
early. You
Yeah.
know?
Somebody get a pop. Yeah, it was so funny. When I would be out with my goddaughter and her mother, the threat was next Tuesday's gonna come around real fast because the threat was I'm knocking you into next Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
And so all my godchild had to hear was that. She's like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because she knew what that meant.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I got a in her room the other
Sorry.
day,
I'm
and
sorry,
I called
what?
her in, and I was get in there right now. You know, she came, she stood at my door and didn't come all the way in. I was like, no, come here, and I snatched her. I think she thought she saw a light flash before her eyes, and I think that works. I think we're good.
I wonder why moms. You met my mother, right?
Yeah. Bobby Jean.
Bobby Jean used to swing like with those little race car tracks. Like
Where you were a dude.
she was. My dad did, but my mother was a swinger.
You're a dude. Yeah.
Like
do you have sisters?
no.
They wouldn't have got hit with the race car track.
Yeah.
That was you. You're a boy.
That was your boy.
Yeah.
You know what? My mother-in-law was apparently what my husband refers to as the wooden spoon ninja, because she could like take you out, which is interesting because she's always been vision impaired. So I'm like, she could take you out with a wooden spoon, and she can't even really see that well.
There were nuns. This is different stuff. There were nuns who could do that. I mean, they could grab you like here, and you would just be broke down. I kid you not.
I mean, I remember getting spanked early in school, but then it faded as I got older.
Right.
Like I think they stopped that.
I didn't get spanked in school, but I would certainly get it at home.
Did you see this? Well, you can go over these. You talked about how you had to sort of move with caution, and I was like, stepdads have that too, where they have to make sure that they know they're not the other person's replacement. I'm just here.
It depends
You
on
know what I'm saying? You
how.
gotta-
Well, it depends on how territorial the parent is.
and the kid.
Right, because you can't like.
Well, you're not there to replace them.
No, you're not. I mean, you're there to be just kind of another
You're there to
adult
be a what?
around.
What's the word?
Bonus.
I like it now.
Bonus.
I like
That's
it.
my-
It's cute.
It makes sense. I'm a bonus.
I'm a bonus. Okay, all right. So, all right, story.
What if you're a minus?
I know, right? Oh, now you suck. So Nala said something, and she kind of like those little jabs. I think she feels like she's cheating on her dad a little bit with the guy.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Well,
Let
that's
me talk about
that's
the-
probably because he's making her feel.
that's the note.
Well, you got to tell them about the.
Okay, all right, the note. We're chilling. Good morning. Everybody's having a good time, and she just writes out of nowhere. She's learning how to write, and she writes, "Blank is not my DEDY." And we're like,
Who's that?
what does that say? and so
She's
we're
like that.
Dad,
My dad.
Daddy. Oh, she's writing Daddy. Oh. And so I said, why would you say that? And she was like, I don't know. I said, well,
Had she seen her dad that day or the day before?
maybe like the day before. She sees him every other day.
Oh, yeah.
And so she might have just been like, And I said, well, why did you say that? I said, you didn't have anything else you could say. I was just writing. And I
Yeah, no,
said-
that's not.
Yeah, I was like, well, you can't say that he's kind or is he funny? And she was like, yeah. I was like, is he kind? She's like, yeah. I was like, does he make you laugh? Does he build you things? Does he fix stuff for you? Does he buy you things? And so she was like, yeah. I said, okay.
So the only thing you could come with
I
is
said that was the only
like
sentence
he
you could
sounds
write.
awesome.
I said, that's all you can write? I said, so she got it. She got it in front of him.
Did she show it to him? She wanted him to see it.
No. It was on a chalkbot in the living room.
Oh, she left it for y'all to.
Well, we were
She
all
was like
sitting
this.
there. We were all there.
She was like this. I'm gonna make sure.
She writes Negro.
Mom, you have a tack. You wake up in the morning, she's like, they gonna see this shit.
And so we all sitting there.
She was like this. He not my daddy, motherfucker. MUH.
So we're like, hey,
Shit.
So I got with her right there, and I was like, hey, in the event he doesn't want to play with you or doesn't want to do this, don't be mad, because remember, we don't have to play with people that are unkind to us, right?
Right.
So when you are unkind, he doesn't have to play with you either. So she was very sorry about it and stuff. So I got with her in front of him, right? So he could feel respected too. That
Right.
you know the kid isn't just gonna
Look
say
at
any
you
damn
with the
thing.
parenting
I am. I'm
A+.
here with that, y'all. Okay.
Hold on.
love that.
I am freaking impressed.
I mean, I'm
I
telling
love
you.
it.
not
So
that you
I-
don't strike me as.
No, I've grown, right? I'm
I'm
here.
about to say.
So I've got her. We get with her then, and then when I got with her separately, when we were in the car, I said, "Hey, don't say
whoop you
that
a
shit
little.
no more.
Right.
Like we done with that. And see, if he's mean to you, you let me know. If there was any problem, you let me know.
You don't act as light skinned as you are.
If you don't go beat it somewhere, so then wait a minute.
You're so silly.
I tapped Granny in. I told Granny about it. Remember, I had a stepdad. I told Granny about it. Granny got on the phone. She said, "Hey, you need to call him and give him an apology.
Right.
See?
You don't talk like that."
Hold on.
And
Can we get her for the show?
Granny also said,
See what I'm saying? We
if
missing-
you were at your dad's house, you don't tell her that she's not your mom.
Right.
You don't do that.
Right.
If something's wrong, you let your dad know. You don't disrespect an adult. So right now, she's
Period.
an adult, period. I
Right.
don't care if it's Miss Gina. You don't tell Miss Gina, you're not my mom. I don't have to do that.
See what I'm saying?
You don't do that.
We are missing that whole generation of
That accountability.
Yeah.
those women are cold. Because those women understand, okay, he needs to feel respected.
Yeah.
And she was letting you and her know.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I need her on the show.
I think that's the best.
Oh, Granny don't play.
That's the best way to raise a child. It isn't about ego, none of that. It's like, no, you need to know how to respect an adult.
Respect an adult,
especially
period.
one who's good to you.
But now we have all of this, not you all per se, not us, but you have a lot of people like, you don't talk to my child like that, which is
Yeah.
why a lot of men won't
like,
enter
forget
in.
that. I don't wanna date
because
women with kids.
If I can't, they just won't.
because it's not gratifying
It's
for them.
not. No.
But it
They get they have no representation.
and that's a shame almost because that little thing could help out their kid.
So much.
They could both have a family, a
I
union.
mean, that was
Bonus,
that,
man.
But that,
All-
but that
everybody
was a
can
good lesson
win.
for her.
Yeah.
Well, it's a blessing for him too.
And this the
Make no
killer.
mistake,
She
if it
loves
works.
the guy.
Right.
She loves him. I think she just felt like she cheating on her daddy a little bit.
Well,
She is a
and then,
little
but
bit,
then you
no.
need to go back to the origin.
I feel a
of
certain
why
way
that
if I
is.
was. I ain't gonna lie. I feel.
You got to
certain.
figure out.
I'd be
what
like
the
this.
origin of that
I'd be
is.
married off somewhere. Like I don't care what's going on. What's happening over there?
Because kids don't just pull things out of their
What's that?
asses generally, right? They don't.
He might be saying stuff like, "Well, you know, you only got one dad." You know, he might be saying little stuff.
Probably. But at least now she ain't slick.
Yeah.
Right? Like so you
Yeah.
she'll give herself away.
Yeah.
She was over
which is
there
good.
practicing. Like, how do you write that? She's like,
He sounded it.
spell daddy like this.
And look, and tell your daddy the next time he wants you to spell daddy that he needs to teach you how to spell it correctly.
That was Jedi Knight. He spelled it wrong on purpose.
D-E-D. Why don't you spell it D-E-A-D-Y? So it's like dead. Dead. Yeah, like
So
I'm giving all this premeditation.
I'm really
this
trying
poor
to
child.
figure out like how you gonna. You need to tell them this. I mean, for real.
Tell what? Tell dad?
They need to
No,
meet.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
Kumbaya? I don't know. How to do
Well,
that.
so yeah, because I'm like, she doesn't need to go back to him with that because then he'll accuse her of being crazy.
yeah, I don't know how they're gonna meet. I guess it's just gonna just
Maybe a
happen.
birthday
like
party, maybe.
dropping off or something. That's
Maybe
what
a
I
birthday
said.
party.
Maybe
you
her
guys-
birthday's in June. Maybe.
You should be like, look,
You can trick her into it.
dude is trying to extend an olive branch. It's a Laker game on. Bring one of them broads. Y'all come over here for a beer. So I don't know.
You bring a hoe.
Yeah.
I'm with that personally.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I'm down. I'm ready to hug her and everything. Hell,
I
So you
would
don't
do that.
care.
I don't. That's cool.
Have
Let's
you
do
You
it.
seen-
evolved into this place where you just are like,
I've
what
just
else?
evolved into this place because,
What-
mind you, I know her dad since I was 16.
Ah,
So it's been
okay.
years.
Okay.
Been years.
Okay.
He owns you.
Now you going too far.
Calm down.
Now you-
I'm messing with you.
But
my
you know,
God.
it's like
That's
it
his.
is what it is.
That's his.
You going too far.
That's his.
Going too far. But it's time to like just be a family.
That's what's
Everybody.
wrong with him, though.
Well, once
He's
he,
used to you
once
being
he
there.
chooses one,
Yeah.
right?
Once he chooses one,
Right.
It's gonna be hard for him. Now that you to drop that
You
little
get, to,
tidbit.
you get to redefine baby mamas for her.
You got to set some boundaries.
But someone's got to do it. Like so.
Yep.
If everyone's got a nightmare baby mama, then nobody wants to get into this thing.
I'm the perfect
right?
being, man. But
Yeah.
you know what? Women have to get happy.
Yeah.
Women have to get
themselves.
happy. They have
Yes.
to be in their own situation, and the man can't move on first, and then now they're all bitter,
This
and all of
is-
that stuff
yes.
happens.
And-
So you got to really like let it go and really be on. Like that's why you can't go dipping back and forth. So what happened is I had an auntie that got divorced, and so when I was breaking up, I acted as if I was divorced. Where a lot of my peers, I feel like we keep this intertwined relationship going on.
Well, he can still hit it.
Yeah, and it don't let the woman move on.
Well, I was going to say, that's what a lot of guys still think, because they do sleep
They
with them every
do.
now and then.
Right. Just to calm them down.
They do.
Yeah.
But when you're divorced, it's a hard stop.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's how she acted. I was like, oh, no, forget this. Hell, I ain't going to be bothered at all.
That's the best way to do it, just make that clean break.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
clean
you
break.
you end up like all twisted.
And then you get twisted. Now
For no
everybody's confused. The
reason.
kids confused. Everybody's confused.
Right.
Oh, we're going to do things together. We're still going to have dinner on Fridays. And
No.
So we got a few minutes left. Question for you all.
Yes.
And you all broke down the dynamics. I thought it was kind of awesome. But for the guy, since this is the Role of a Stepdad, what do you say to those? Because I told you at the beginning of the show, the red pill faction is saying it ain't even worth it because they all
they've had bad
it's
baby
not.
they're
mama
gay.
experience.
No. One thing,
Or they've had bad.
or they think the kid is going to be put before the man. And as you all know, it's always God, spouse, and kid.
Right.
But I gotta say, a lot of people put their kid first.
They do.
They do.
So what advice do you
Some
give
people
that
work
man?
their children.
Ooh, so I had
What
that
ad-
debate too.
And what
Well,
advice do you give that man?
So my buddy is older than me. He's my best friend, and he said that you would put Nala before your partner. And I said, well, I think when I am married, I do not think I can put Nala before my partner. Ideally, I should choose a mate, that the mate is in sync with my child, that it would be us two, and then we would care about the children as if
There you
we
go.
were a unit,
Right.
and then they would come next. So
Smart.
I would not be able to do that. Now, I don't want to think about situations like if we was drowning on a boat.
What you
or
think
shit
about?
like
What you
that.
think about
I
is
don't-
like this. What you think about is like this. The reason
Nah,
you
I
put
gotta
him,
grab my baby.
think,
Right,
think
like-
about it. Think about it
Bye,
different.
girl.
Like, I can't do that.
Think about it differently. Not you jumping in front of something. Just know that man would be willing to step in front of a bullet for either one of you.
He is.
So that being the case, you got to put him first.
I agree. In
And
those
look at it-
situations.
look
he
at it
has-
like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not that you don't have to choose. He got it. It's a piece of bread left, baby. You can't eat today.
But then even
it's
with
not that.
Even with the food thing, right? So if you think about the idea of food, I think that if the man cares about this, the man should eat first, right, in the household. If there's not enough food, then the children should eat.
Let's make it clear. I've heard people say this. How about, let me qualify how it should go. Everybody eats at the same time. His plate might be put down first.
Agreed.
So that should be nothing for people.
But if there is no food, so let's say you all don't have anything,
He's going to let you all eat.
then the children eat first.
He's going to tell you all to eat.
So, exactly.
He should.
He
Yeah.
should,
He
right?
is.
But so if there's not, then yeah, the man gets respect and
He
everybody
is-
eats.
He is going to do that. And that's why he goes first, because he's willing to go last.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wait, the right guy.
The
Well, it's
Not
got
all
to
of
be
them.
the guy that
The
you
right
marry,
guy.
trust with your life.
I agree.
And only then.
Yeah.
Nobody else. And because then he's signing up, because he knows, you know what? Something happens. I got to guard this girl's life with my life too.
Yep.
And
I
that's
agree.
a good thing.
Right.
All right. I like
I
that.
once dated a guy who I'm
So
pretty
what
sure
about the
wouldn't
guy?
care if
What
I
about
ate.
the guy who can't get that? I think they should walk away.
I think they should too. I think they should too. I would not advise my brother, my son, my cousin, anybody to date a woman who wants to put their kids in front of them. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I think
right.
it's a disaster.
That is
It
a
is a
mature
disaster.
thought right
Yeah,
there.
I agree with you. I think it is a disaster.
I don't think younger people would do that.
But see, this
I
is
don't
why.
either.
This is why I
I
always
was raised by old people.
tell
but-
people to try to stay together. If you can. Like if
Don't you say that because the single mom faction will
I
shoot
know
you.
they will hurt me.
You're
But-
blaming them.
No, but it's just about having a unit in the household
You-
that has a common care.
There
Yeah.
is definitely value in that.
There is.
But when people are doing
Things to you.
things that they should not be doing, it does not equal in being with partners that you should be with for life.
No, I agree. Like if it's not a great relationship, but if there's any way to work that out, because then you two are the only people who are going to get together to put that kid first in a normal. It's hard to find people
You're right.
who are going to
Put you first before the kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
It's tough.
and care about. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guilt associated.
And you
with
usually
that.
only see it when the kid is like really messing up, and then the dude is like, "Hey, don't you yell at my baby, blah blah blah." And then he's like, "Whoa,
And
Really?
if I was that dude, man, I'd be like, hey, you know
You
what?
didn't see the shit that
Do
your,
you?
I got to go.
you didn't see the
Right.
shit your badass son did. Tomorrow
Yeah,
he gonna be
I would
arrested.
be up.
I would be done.
I've seen. Look, I've heard of, especially boys, right? They swing on them. They'll fight you.
Hell no.
A boy will fight you in a minute.
I will put him down.
I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? I had a friend who he married.
You
He's
got
a
to
really
fight?
good dude. He married a woman that had kind of older boys. They together had between the two of them, they had 6 kids, right?
That's a lot of
And
kids.
2 of them, yeah, he likes lots
There's
of
gonna be
kids.
some fights.
There was, but those older boys.
You got to fight, marry me.
Those-
you got to fight. You got to
but
fight my
those-
boys.
But the older boys turned on him, and they were
Hell
kinda,
yeah.
And one of them even held a gun,
Ooh.
and he called
See
the
what I'm
police,
saying?
and that kid got arrested.
See what I'm saying?
Now mama mad.
Hey, guys.
Oh, Mama was mad, but he was in jail because
Get
he
your
was
little
a
bastard
criminal.
son.
He was a criminal.
That's got to be a hell of a woman.
She was
gotta
mad,
be hell
but
of a
whatever. I mean, she was. It wasn't knowing her not a surprise. Anyway,
Well, look, we almost out of time.
We
Gina
are
B,
out of
want to
time.
close us out? Proceed with caution is all I got to say. But
proceed with caution. I just think that you just want to make sure that you're in a situation where everybody is respected
right.
and you can thrive in it. Like, so if you're a stepfather, if you're stepping into a stepfather situation, I would say just make sure that there's the right relationship and the right support for your relationship in that
Yeah. And the only
kind of grouping.
I'm going to go with what Afton said. It has to be somebody putting you first. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go with you said. It has to be a respect. You only see that when there's a conflict situation. That's usually when you see, where people stand. But if you're a woman, you have to be cognizant of the issues that come up and be proactive in addressing them so that the man does feel respected, which is ultimately sort of what everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you also, communication's really important with the parent of the child, right? To be on the same page as to how that kid's being raised.
Yeah.
And how do you fit in and how they see you fitting in. And how that biological other parent is going to respond to it. There's a lot of moving parts.
It is a lot of moving parts, and it's really annoying, and it makes me
Anywho.
ass itch. I hate it.
That's all we got, people. It is 8:01. We
It's
out of here
time to
like last year.
gizzo.
Afton, thanks for coming. We're going to bring you in for something wild. And,
Something wild.
I don't need nothing
untamed.
wild. Nope. Y'all
One of
would
them
like to
fighting-
chime into my life
One
and
of them
stuff.
fighting
No.
subjects.
No.
One of them. Anyway, thanks for joining the show, Gina B. As always, give me some. Now you even know that. That's what's up. Anyway, we out here like last year. Shout out to our producer in the back, Reese. Shout out to our one-person studio audience today, Chris. We see you out there.
Hey, Chris.
We out here like last year. Thank you all for coming. Share it, like it, follow us, all that stuff. We out.
Ask us questions, all the things.
But I levitate. Rise above with the love when I meditate. When I meditate. I roll with God cause he never late. My sundial and denial up in Ben Franks. On the road, let's travel with a full tank. Revolutionary overture, that's two saints. I mean, that's two sons. I mean, that's two saints. Like Peter Paul, me and you could be the new saints. Let me paint a new picture on the 16. Woolly haired black man with divine genes. Yeah, I be rapping, but these 16's art. Cathartic, therapeutic, really who needs charts? All I need is heart, God's love and some knowledge. Acknowledge, don't acknowledge, I be good to be